What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have a 2011 Volkswagen Tiguan. Has the 2-liter turbo. This is the SE model. I think the only difference with the SEL is it does have a moonroof instead of this right here. But this is a personal vehicle. I just purchased this last week. Like I said, it's an 11, only has 86,000 miles on it, well, 86,423, but runs good. It does have a small coolant leak, and that's what we're going to be repairing on this video, but there will be 2, maybe 3 more videos, depends on how long the brakes are on this, because we're going to be doing brake jobs front and rear, then like a basic tune-up, spark plugs, oil filter, air filter, stuff like that, you know, just to freshen it up for us. And I do know these have time and chain issues around like 100,000 miles, so I went ahead and bought the time and chain kit, but we're not going to put it on just yet. We'll wait until it either throws out the timing a little bit, like I'll monitor it probably today or tomorrow to see where it's at. I know anything over 4 degrees, I believe, is saying that the chain is either stretched or tensioner is starting to fail, but it doesn't make any odd noises. We test drove it. Like I said, the only thing it had was that little plastic coolant pipe that runs from the overflow tank to the water pump, I believe it is, or heater hose, one or the other. But it runs there. It does have a small crack in the top of it, so we're going to be changing that in this video. And like I said, this does have the 2-liter turbo in it, so let me gather my tools. I already have all the parts, coolant and everything, and then I'll bring y'all back and we'll get doing the work on this thing. Like I said, this is a personal car of mine that we just bought last week, and like I said, we do have one little issue that we need to take care of, and this little plastic coolant line right here, if you look right there, you can see a little bit of water. It's cracked right there, just barely. And we did drive it home, no issues or any of that stuff, but when I got home I did see it starting to kind of bubble a little bit out of there. And coolant stayed level pretty much the whole way. You can see it's right there. But like I said, it does need this pipe right here. Here's the 2 lines right here. One runs up to the overflow and the other one runs to the back of the cylinder head, and then it comes down the front behind the charge pipe and comes around, and there's 3 hoses, I believe, that hook up to it. And we'll have to take the charge pipe on this off. I'm probably going to move the resonator box right here, go ahead and take the charge pipe down and out, and then that way we can get a better view. But I will get a flashlight so we can look at it better. But first thing we're going to do, we're just going to start up here, and we're going to take everything off of there. So what I'm going to do is probably drain the coolant a little bit, and then we will start pulling this stuff off. So let me find out where the drain valve is on this, if it has one. If not, we'll just pull a line and let it drain that way. Alright, so we're taking the air box right here off just so I can look down in here a little bit better and get a little bit more access. I went ahead and took all these screws out. Should be 2, 4, 6, like 8 Torx bits. They are a T25, and like I said, I went ahead and took those off just so I didn't bore y'all. And we're going to take this connector off. I'm going to set y'all up a little bit. Like I said, we're going to take this connector off and get underneath there. Okay. And then I'm going to take this clamp right here off. These clamps right here they're easy to squeeze, but they do have some tension on them. And just be careful behind this sensor, as it is fairly close. And there it is right there. Which we needed to take this off anyway, because we did get a new air filter. Come on, I can get the thing out. Which this one actually doesn't look bad. Looks like it was replaced recently, and it is a Volkswagen part. So we took this line right here off. It runs in front of the air box and hooks in right there on where your upper radiator hose goes. And now there's a, that's like an Allen head bolt or a hex head bolt, whichever one you want to call them, right there. You should be able to take that out, and then the box should lift up, because these little tubes that run from this air dam piece right here to the air box, they're hard to get out of these air boxes. There is your Allen bolt right there. This is a T5. If it'll come out, it may be one of those that sticks in there. Yeah, so it's got like a washer on the back of it where it sticks in. Then after you take that out, you should be able to lift it right out, because if you look down in there, there's a little rubber grommet on the bottom. And now you can see how much more room we have to access the charge pipe right here, because here's your upper radiator hose, which we can stick this back on for the time being so water isn't going everywhere, or coolant. But here's your upper radiator hose right here. There's your charge pipe. There's a connector, or not a connector, but hose clamp here, one on the throttle body, and then there's a connector a little bit further down, right there where my fingers are. And then I think it has a bolt that holds it to the engine right behind there. Like, it's hard to see when I'm showing it to you, but that is a Torx bit. And we're going to disconnect this sensor, take these hose clamps off, and try to get this charge pipe out of here. So let me loosen up all that. Oh, and there's another hose clamp down. Let's see if I can show it to you right here. I know it's a little bit further down, it's hard to see. Where's my flashlight? Just had a flashlight, now can't find it, but I'll show it to you whenever I get it out. I'll show you where everything is. We got the charge pipe out of the way. I did have to take it from underneath, and we dropped the lower undercover shield down. It does have some T25 Torx bits on there. Should be 3 on each side, and then there's 2 big ones in the back, but you can fold down just the front and access everything. And here is the charge pipe. There was another bracket holding it on right here. Those are T30s. You can see it should be 2 of them. Then there's a hose clamp right there, and I loosened this one, but instead of doing that, I just took it off at the intercooler itself. And you can see it's got an O-ring on it, and then it's just this little clip on the intercooler. You just pull it down or out, whichever one you want to, and you should be able to slide it right out. Here's your connector. I think that is your map sensor. But while we were under there, I saw that the auxiliary water pump is leaking a little bit, so we will go ahead and change that as well. I got the part coming, but we're going to go ahead and just keep going on the original pipes that we're going to change. And like I said, you can see them a lot better now. Let me get y'all in here so don't break your fingernail off like I did. I just bent it backwards. But there's one clamp right here, one right there, and then another one right here. And then there's 2 screws that are holding it to the engine. Should be one right here, and then there's one up underneath there. It's like right beside the throttle body. Then you have 2 hose clamps where the hoses come in right there. So what I'm going to do is actually take all these hose clamps off and get the pipe out, just so I can show y'all exactly what it looks like. But I will show you the part number and the part first. Here it is a Ryan part. That's all of it right there. Where's the part number? Right there. CHP 0681. So like I said, I'm going to go ahead and pull this off, and once I get it off, I'll show y'all what it looks like. We have it off, and there's your hoses right there. There's the one that comes off at a 90. That one furthest down, that one right there was a pain in the butt because they had the hose clamp facing the engine, and I had to take the other 2 off first and twist the plastic pipe so I could get to the back of it. And let me show you what it looks like. Here it is right here, and that's where one of the brackets goes, and there's the other one. and it was leaking on that little clean looking spot right there. See if I can get my finger, like right in there. So now these hoses right there go actually to the water pump, and we're going to change it anyway, so this will be, I guess, a water pump and a plastic crossover bypass tubes, whatever you want to call them, video. But I'm going to show you what a water pump is. This is the auxiliary water pump. It isn't the main water pump, because the auxiliary one is actually electronic. It's right here behind this hose, and should have like some Allen bolts and a couple hoses that run to it. They're just squeeze clamps. Disconnect that, take the hoses off, and then pull the Allen head bolts out, and it should come right off. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off now, and whenever it comes in, I'll throw it on. Everything, it's pretty simple. It's not that hard. Like I said, you just have to drop this lower shield right here. All right, so we got the hose on here now, and we got it all the hose clamps on it. All the bolts are tightened. We got the lower ones on. We got the water pump on as well. You can see it kind of right down there. Got it connected. Now all we got to do is put the charge pipe back on and put the air box in. And pretty much all this is just the reversal of the removal. Sorry, but you know, you just got your hose clamp here. You got your quick disconnect down there. You got your sensor, and then two bolts. Two bolts that go in and bolt it to the engine and hold it in place. Then you have a sensor wire right here, then your air box, and then one bolt. But I want to throw all this stuff back in real quick, and then once I get through, I'm gonna put some coolant in there, and then we're gonna fire it up and make sure everything's doing good. All right, so we got everything on except for the lower cover. I got it off still because I want to make sure that it doesn't leak anything, because I haven't cranked it up yet either from the oil change, which will be in the next video, because I did it as I was doing this right here, just because it was easier to get to some of the other stuff, and I had to have the cover off anyway. But I did put some coolant in here and check to make sure that it wasn't leaking. I didn't see anything leaking just from static pressure, but we got everything else on. Now we're going to go in and crank it up and monitor the hoses while it's running. No lights on at the moment. And we're going to look underneath to make sure there's no coolant leaking anywhere while it's running. But everything looks good on it. I'm going to keep an eye on the coolant level and let it get up to temperature and all that stuff, just because we did open it up, and it probably will go down a little bit once it opens up completely. But pretty much this is going to conclude the video. This is how you do the coolant bypass tube and the auxiliary water pump on this. Pretty simple. There's really no specific torque specs on all this, because nothing really was major that come off of it. Like I said, we just took air box, this line, and the water pump and water hoses off, and everything was either squeeze clamps or little like 25 T25 torque strips. But if you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section. I'll get to them as soon as possible. And until next time, y'all have a great day.